Alright, let's see. Let's see how many people we can get here. Alright, we only got 8 people currently. And the last stream had 36 people total. And let's see what we can get on this one. Alright? I mean, it's just really, it's absolutely wild, you know. I was just kind of waiting to see if it would build up to any sort of a number. I guess we need to go do the beginning part again. Hold on. There we go. We got that. This part, etc. Then we got this. Here we go. And there we go.
Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this
now we got 102.
often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
There we go, everybody. I don't know what the hell's going on over here. I've been chatting with YouTube, trying to figure out what the hell's happening with that last live stream I did was just ridiculous. It had 30 people after like 10 minutes. At least this one has more currently, so we'll just see how it goes. But man, I have no idea. Maybe the thumbnail's better now. The last one looked sort of jarbled, I guess. This one's... but anyways, we get to go over the information. Alright. So Derek out there, he went out and found, I guess, 2 different documents, but he found the United States District Court document, and this thing is crazy. I mean, I haven't gone over the whole thing, but it has all the pictures and everything, and we're gonna go through this thing. All right, so thank you, Derek, for sending that over here, and so let's get started on it right now. Just like I say in my videos. All right, hold on. I gotta respond to YouTube over here too at the same time. I don't know if we need to go through the counts. I want to go down to the information on the case. All right, I don't really care about the counts. I want to go right down here to, you know, where the affidavits are. I'm just I gotta end the chat there. All right, let's see. We're gonna go right down to the affidavit. I am a special agent of the United States Department of Justice, Federal Bureau of Investigation, and have been employed since 2018. I am an investigative or law enforcement officer. I make this affidavit. Okay, here's the probable cause right here. As described below, Vance Luther Boelter embarked on a planned campaign of stalking and violence designed to inflict fear, injure. How'd that injure? Does injure have the word an E at the end? Man, I don't know why I don't remember that. And kill members of the Minnesota State Legislature and their families, after taking deliberate steps to research the victims and prepare for the campaign, Boelter traveled to the homes of at least 4 public officials during the early morning hours of June 14, 2024. And don't be shy if you guys want to help support the channel. We're currently at 0 again. Disguised as a police officer and heavily armed with firearms and body armor, Boelter approached those officials' homes under the guise of lawful authority. That morning, Boelter murdered 2 people and seriously injured 2 others. Boelter's preparation for his stalking and murderous campaign. Evidence uncovered in this investigation indicates that Boelter extensively planned his stalking, murders, and attempted murders. As discussed below, Boelter's preparation efforts included identifying several websites that allow users to search for the personal information of others, like home addresses and family member names. Ben Verified would be one of those. Boelter also made lists containing the names of home addresses of many Minnesota public officials, mostly or all Democrats. He found websites that sold hyper-realistic silicone masks, which look like, I wonder if he used different masks at different houses, you know? I'm actually wondering that now. Sold hyper-realistic silicone mask, which looks like a mask Boelter wore during at least his shooting of John Hoffman, a senator in Minnesota State Senate, and his wife. And he purchased materials from Fleet Farm for use in his shootings, including flashlights and resources that could be used to create the type of fake police license plate found on Boelter's SUV. Boelter drove that SUV to the home of Minnesota House Representative Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman, where Boelter shot and killed Representative Mr. Hortman. So we're still currently at 0, everybody. So if you could please help support the channel. My channel relies on your guys' generosity. It's hard to do these long shows when there's absolutely 0 support, and it's very difficult. As described, and you guys know what we do at the end of the month. We're getting near the halfway point. As described below, Boelter undertook these acts and others in preparation for and furtherance of, and with the intent to kill, injure, harass, and intimidate Minnesota elected officials. And there's Allie Cake again, always helping out. Thanks, Allie Cake. I wish other people had the same mentality. You're very kind. In the early morning hours of June 14, 2025, Boelter drove in a black SUV equipped with law enforcement-style emergency lights to the home of Minnesota State Senator John Hoffman in Champlin, Minnesota. Video footage from Senator Hoffman's home depicted Boelter approaching the front door dressed to impersonate a law enforcement officer wearing a black tactical vest and holding a flashlight. He wore a flesh-colored mask covering his entire head. And there's that similar picture that we have out there. As shown in that footage, and as described later by multiple members of the Hoffman family, Boelter knocked on the door. He shouted repeatedly, "This is the police, open the door!" In response to Boelter's shouting, one or both of Senator and Mrs. Hoffman answered the door. According to the statement later provided to law enforcement by Mrs. Hoffman, Boelter said there had been a shooting reported. Oh, wow. Hold on. Let's see this again. So Hoffman answered the door. According to the statement later provided by law enforcement by Mrs. Hoffman, Boelter, the shooter, he said there had been a shooting reported inside the house, and he asked whether the Hoffmans had any guns. Jesus. Senator Hoffman responded that there were, but that all firearms were locked away. Hey, thanks, the process and the punishment. Wow, that's crazy. So that's what he said to them. According to Mrs. Hoffman, at some point In this exchange, she realized that Boelter, who had been shining a flashlight towards the Hoffmans, I mean, I've seen that in like other cases, that flashlight situation. What was that one? There was one just like that where they used the flashlight. I was thinking about it earlier, now I can't remember. Senator Hoffman responded that there were, but that all firearms were locked away. According to Mrs. Hoffman, at some point in the exchange, she realized that Boelter, who had been shining a flashlight towards the Hoffmans, impairing their view of Boelter, was wearing a mask. Upon realizing this, one or both of the Hoffmans told Boelter that Boelter was not a real police officer. Hey, you're not a real police officer. Boelter responded by saying something like, "This is a robbery." Mrs. Hoffman reported that Senator Hoffman tried to push Boelter backwards through the front door, at which point Boelter shot Senator Hoffman repeatedly. So maybe that was through the door. Mrs. Hoffman attempted to shut Boelter outside the home. Oh, there you go, by shutting the door on him. But Boelter then shot Mrs. Hoffman repeatedly. So he must have shot through the door. That's why those are on there. Yeah, man, look at we got these weird conspiracy nutters showing up here. At approximately 2:06 a.m., Senator Hoffman's daughter called 911 to report that her parents had been shot. Law enforcement responded and provided medical aid to Senator and Mrs. Hoffman, who were transported to a local hospital with multiple gunshot wounds. Although they suffered critical gunshot wounds, Senator and Mrs. Hoffman were stabilized. Maple Grove, Minnesota, home of Minnesota Public Official 1. After repeatedly shooting the Hoffmans, Boelter traveled to the home of another Minnesota elected representative, Public Official 1 in Maple Grove, Minnesota. The footage from the... Man, look at this next stuff. Hey, look, it's creepy as hell, man. The footage from the surveillance cameras, I think he used different masks at different places, at Public Official 1's home showed Boelter repeatedly ringing the home's doorbell at approximately 2:24 a.m. Boelter wore a black tactical vest bearing a badge resembling those worn by law enforcement. While ringing the doorbell, Boelter loudly said, "This is the police! Open the door! This is the police! We have a warrant!" He repeated the comment several times. And look at this. I mean, imagine seeing something like this. I mean, that looks like it's got that goatee on it again, so maybe it is the same one. But look at that's a different shot. We haven't seen this one yet. How crazy is that, you guys? Boelter knocked on the front door of the Public Official 1's home. Okay, that's when he's knocking on the door. Public Official 1 and her family were not at home, thank God, and did not answer the door. Boelter left the residence. And then New Hope, Minnesota, home of Public Official number 2. Later that night, local law enforcement in New Hope, Minnesota, learned of the shooting at Senator Hoffman's home and dispatched an officer to New Hope, home of another Minnesota elected representative, Public Official 2, to conduct a safety check. At approximately 2:36 a.m., an officer encountered a man now believed to have been Boelter sitting in the driver's seat of a black SUV parked down the street from Public Official 2's home. The officer believed that the SUV, which resembled a squad car and was equipped with police-style light bar, was in fact law enforcement officer providing protection for Public Official 2. I mean, isn't that crazy? So she gets there and thinks, oh, this must be somebody that arrived before me. I mean, it's just wild. But anyways, that's him. Look at that. That's the car. As that vehicle's pulling up, the officer reported that the individual sitting in the black SUV was a bald white male. So he obviously was bald, and then that's how those masks could fit on his head easier. But hey guys, if you're out there, if you want to help support the channel, that'd be fantastic. We need some channel memberships gifted, etc., etc., etc. The officer tried to speak with the man, but he continued staring straight ahead. So there was a white male, bald white male, staring straight ahead in the vehicle. Then the officer tried to speak with the man, but he continued staring straight ahead and did not respond. I mean, that would be a huge red flag, wouldn't it? I mean, the officer drove the rest of the distance to Public Official 2's residence, saw no signs of distress, and waited there until additional law enforcement officers joined her. By the time they did, the dark SUV had left the area. Until additional law enforcement joined her by the time. So she must have been a little bit suspicious, I guess. At around 3:30 a.m., local law enforcement, having learned of the shooting of Senator Hoffman's home in Champlin, went to the home of Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, to conduct safety check. Upon arriving, law enforcement saw a black Ford Explorer SUV, and as I showed you guys the other day, on Ben, I think it's this one. Is that it? Yeah, this is on Ben Verified. He owns a 2015 Ford Explorer, and I think that's the car that he modified to look like a cop car. So around 3:30 a.m., local law enforcement, having learned of the shooting at Senator Hoffman's home in Champlin, went to the home of Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota, to conduct a safety check. Upon arriving, law enforcement saw a black Ford Explorer SUV parked outside the home. The black SUV resembled a law enforcement squad car, and it was equipped with police-style lights. Those lights were on and flashing. So this must be, I think that's like some from the, I don't know, it's hard to, I think that might be from the surveillance camera itself, but zoomed in. Was it backed in, they said? Was equipped, was parked outside the home. And then they had a crappy, says police, like that. I mean, it wasn't really that good, I guess. I think Oregon crime guy, or whatever the hell his name is, he was saying that. I mean, it's just paper, but they do use just the word police on their vehicles. Law enforcement arriving at Representative Hortman's home saw Boelter dressed in dark colors. Oh, wow, look at that. And standing near the front door facing the house. Look at that right there. Man, that is just, this whole thing is right out of a nightmare. It's just crazy. Look at that. He's right there. And let's take a look. Let's try to see if we can figure out where the hell that is on the house. Man, you guys see that? Whew. Crazy. Yeah, it seems like, yeah, I know where that is. So this is right there. See that? He's standing like right over here. It almost looks like he's got a hammer or something, but he's standing right there. And then that is right here, and this one is right there, and this whole brick area is probably like right there. So he's just standing right there. I mean, this is crazy. Moments after they arrived. Let me see this again. All dark, standing near the front door facing the house. Moments after their arrival on the scene, Boelter fired several gunshots into the house as he moved forward, entering the Hortman's home. God, were they still alive, hoping? And then, like, he sort of, I mean, it's just, God, scary. In dashcam footage from the scene, moments after Boelter fired those shots, as he moved into the house, a second set of gunshots can be heard. At the same time, several flashes appear in the entry window. So those officers actually filmed the Hortmans being killed, the time frame, you know, not on their bodies, but the flashes and the... So that was, they were still alive when that cop showed up right there. About the same time, officers moved forward to the home's front doorway, where they saw Mr. Hortman lying on the floor. Law enforcement approached the fallen Mr. Hortman, who had been struck by multiple gunshots, to try to provide medical assistance. When officers entered the home, they found Representative Hortman suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Officers also found inside the home the Hortman family dog, gravely injured. Representatives and Mr. Hortman died from their injuries. Wow, so they also shot the dog. I wonder if that one... Officers also found inside the home the Hortman family dog, gravely injured. That's what a lot of people will be more upset about. Boelter fled the Hortman's home, leaving behind Boelter's 2015 Ford Explorer SUV that was parked outside the house. After obtaining a warrant, officers searched that vehicle. I know from my training and experience that Ford did not manufacture 2015 Explorers in the state of Minnesota. That's weird. How would you know that? Officers found evidence tying Boelter to the SUV. There you go, see, including a bill for a storage unit with Boelter's name. Officers also found the license plates for the SUV Boelter drove that night. Public records show the SUV is registered to Boelter and his wife. So again, you guys, if you're out there, my channel relies on your guys' generosity. When you do these live streams, there's no ad revenue whatsoever. So if you guys like the content on this channel, if you could consider supporting it. We've got the coffees, etc. I don't have that thing set up currently, but I mean I do have it set up. I just have to turn on this thing, but I need your guys' support. It's hard to do these shows and there's nothing, and it's like, okay, well, you know, I mean, what do you don't get subs from live streams either. You get subscribers from videos. So if you guys have the ability to, that would be great. I explained last night why we're almost at, from the income of the channel, we have a scholarship fund, we have a DNA fund, and we're, at the end of this month, we'll have reached $250,000 given away to various true crime related charities in 5 years. So the only way to make that happen, as I've explained 1,000 times, is when people are supporting the channel during the live streams. Alright, so it says Boelter fled the Hortman's home, leaving behind his 2015, and then he said, you know, I have knowledge that they didn't manufacture in the state of Minnesota. Well, of course, well, who cares if they manufactured them in the state of Minnesota? You know, I mean, they're manufactured somewhere else and then they get sold in Minnesota. I don't know what he meant by that. Hey, thanks, Elizabeth Capone Cook. Very kind. Officers found evidence tying Boelter to the SUV, including a bill for a storage unit with Boelter's name. Officers also found the license plates for the SUV Boelter drove that night. Public records show the SUV is registered to Boelter and his wife. Yeah, I mean, see, we knew that. That's the thing. As soon as they got his vehicle, they knew who he was. I don't think, if that officer hadn't shown up right there, that we would have a clue who he was right now. There would be no way of knowing. Unless somebody knew something and said something. That's it. Hey, thanks, Naomi and Paisley Dreams. Yeah, this is crazy, right? And thanks, Derek. He sent it over. He found it. I looked up the same words he did, and somehow it didn't show up on my Google search. So, officers also found approximately 5 firearms inside in the SUV, including semi-automatic assault-style rifles, as well as a large quantity of ammunition organized into loaded magazines. They also found a medical kit containing wound treatment supplies and several eye masks of the kind that might be worn while sleeping. I mean, Jesus, look at this, you guys. This is insane. That almost looks like an AK-47 kind of modified, Uzi type situation. It's not an Uzi, but it doesn't look like. And then there's looks like our AR-15 maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say. All kinds of weapons in here, just ready to go. He has them in a trash can even. Now, from the SUV, officers recovered several notebooks full of handwritten notes. Listed among the pages of those notebooks were the names of more than 45 Minnesota state and federal public officials, including Representative Hortman, whose home address was written next to her name. Okay. One of those notebooks contained lists of internet-based people search engines, including True People Search, Spokeo, PIPL, People Finder, Ben Verified, White Pages, Truth Finder, Intellius, a lot of people use that one, Ownerly, US Search, and People Looker. I know from my training and experience, and the training and experience of other officers and agents involved in the investigation, that these websites aggregate data from various online and offline sources to provide the querying user details about the search for persons, such as home addresses, phone numbers, and information about family members. Why do you need to put that up there, though? Intellius, been verified. So he wrote down all these. Wow. Search.com, neighbor, who, address needed. Need name, phone number or address, information, not free, People Finder service, been verified. I have to pay for been verified there. County assessor's website pages. In addition, officers found a Garmin GPS navigation device in the SUV. That device's trip history included the addresses of Representative Hortman's home in Brooklyn Park, public officials one's home. Oh, that's the one that so that's the second victim. So he included addresses of Hortman's home in Brooklyn Park, public official one's home in Maple Grove, and Senator Hoffman's home in Champlin. The trip history also included the home addresses for at least 2 other state officials. So, I mean, this guy was going to go out and just kill as many people as possible. Yeah, so the places currently are these. So you got the Hoffman up here, and then this is public service, number 1, whatever they called him. And this is number 2 here. This is the area where the other vehicle pulls up next to it. And he didn't say anything. And then he goes over to the Hortman. So it's Hoffman's, and then 1, 2, and then 4 right there. I mean, I'm going to say 1, 2. That's what they call them. Public official number 1. So it's Hoffman, public official 1, public official 2, and then Hortman. And that's the order it went in. And there was multiple other people in there. We don't even know. I mean, it's possible that he went to other places before even John Hoffman, But, I mean, they have the records, I think. Thanks, Teddy Bundy. Let's see. All right, so upon searching the surrounding area, law enforcement found components of a disassembled Beretta 92 9mm semi-automatic handgun and at least 3 magazines strewn across the ground, a few blocks from Representative Hortman's home. Interesting. Rounds contained in one or more of those magazines bore the same head stamp on the discharge cartridge casings found within or in the immediate vicinity of Representative Hortman's home. Records accessible to law enforcement indicate this Beretta was purchased by Boelter in or about January 2000. So it was disassembled for some unknown reason. In some general area, law enforcement also found a flashlight, a tactical body armor vest, and a mask, all consistent with those Boelter can be seen wearing earlier in the morning. Look at this. That's the mask. I mean, just even that's a creepy picture. Look at that thing. Well, it's not dumb anymore. It's dumb that he threw the gun because it's like, wow, that ties the murder. But they already know that that vehicle outside is his, so now he doesn't even know what he's doing now. He's just kind of... Sandy Shirley said, got to follow Allie Cake's wave. All right. Recovered face mask. I mean, just look at that. That's just crazy. According to records obtained by law enforcement, Boelter purchased 3 Beretta handguns as well as many other firearms. Thanks, Kami. Subsequent investigation and Boelter apprehension. Law enforcement obtained information to track the location of cell phones known to be used by Boelter and his wife. Law enforcement used the resulting data to locate Mrs. Boelter. Obtain information to track the locations of cell phones known to be used by Boelter and his wife. Okay. So they tracked down Boelter, his wife. Mrs. Boelter consented to a law enforcement search of her phone. That search revealed that around 6:18 a.m., Mrs. Boelter and other family members received a group text message from Boelter. Yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about. In that text, Boelter wrote, among other things, Dad went to war last night. I don't want to say more because I don't want to implicate anybody. It seems like it's weird. Why he seems so concerned about that. Number 40. Around the same time, Mrs. Boelter received a text message from Boelter stating, among other things, words are not going to explain how sorry I am for this situation. This is after he's already killed everybody. Yeah, he killed the 2 people and shot 2 others and tried to kill another set of people. There's going to be some people coming to the house armed and trigger happy, and I don't want you guys around. Okay, so that would make sense why they traveled away. But wouldn't she immediately call the cops herself? I mean, it was just bizarre that they're driving up north. So let me show you this part. The wife of his was caught up here in the small little town of like Onamia, something like that, at a convenience store up here. And she had a gun, a bunch of money, and passports. I mean, so they're heading towards Canada. Why would you think of fleeing the country if your husband's saying he did something nutty? Why not just call the cops and let them know? I mean, that looks better, doesn't it? Than running away, and it's pretty strange. So Ms. Boelter consented to a search of her car. From the car, law enforcement recovered 2 handguns, approximately $10,000 in cash, and passports. There you go. For Mrs. Boelter and her children, who were in the car with Mrs. Boelter at the time. Wow. Law enforcement obtained cell phone location information for multiple phones known to be associated with Boelter. That location data led law enforcement to a residence on Fremont Avenue in North Minneapolis. Law enforcement also found the same Fremont Avenue address in the Garmin's trip history described above. At the Fremont home, law enforcement encountered and interviewed a man, I think that's that large guy, who said he lives in the Fremont residence, and he explained shares it with Boelter at least part-time. He explained he shares it with Boelter at least part-time. Officers conducted a warranted search of the Fremont Avenue residence. Officers found a handwritten list of names containing many of those same public officials named in the notebooks found in Boelter's SUV as described above. Officers also found a purchase receipt from Fleet Farm dated about June 9th, 2025, which documented the purchase of, among other things, a flashlight, a tactical rifle case. Man, it sounds like Brian Koberger. 2 types of firearm ammunition, and the materials believed to have been used to create the fake police license plate. I mean, it's not the greatest job in the world. The images that originally came out were kind of blurry, but then there was better ones that other people said, "Oh, look how crappy that looks." Law enforcement also found several notebooks containing handwritten notes. These notebooks were in addition to those recovered from the SUV. Among the pages of those various notebooks, officers found listed the names and often home addresses of numerous Minnesota public officials, including Representative Hortman, one of the people Boelter shot and murdered on June 14th. Beneath her name, a notation reads, "Married, Mark, 2 children." Oh, okay, married, Mark, that's the husband, 2 children, 11th term. Mark was the name of the Representative Hortman's husband. There you go. Another notation in one of the recovered notebook names Hortman, her address, and her spouse again, with the added notations. Big house off golf course. Wow, 2 ways in to watch from one spot. Let's see that. 2 ways in. So, yeah, I guess he could be right here and park right at the end of the street. The way you come in is like this way, or you can come in this way. But hey guys, I'll say it again, if you're out there, if you have the ability to help support the channel, that'd be awesome. We're basically, if we were doing our normal show, we'd only be at a 5th of a nightly goal. Not even that. A 6th. That is let's see, that is an apt description of the Hortman's home, which backs up to the golf course. Another notebook notation lists 3 websites for companies that sell face masks similar to the one Boelter wore. One of those websites describes itself as your premier destination for high-end, hyper-realistic silicone masks. Another of the websites asserts that it sets a new standard in hyper-realistic silicone masks. I don't think that's the one he had on, though, this one, at all. Doesn't look like that. Mask advertised on one of the websites noted in the notebook. I think what he did was, he doesn't have, I don't know if he has a ton of money or anything. This one would have cost a lot of money. So he went and just bought one of the ones that you can buy. And I think he bought like this one, right? Something like this that you just slap on your head. In fact, I think it's exactly this model right here. In video footage from the area of Fremont Avenue residence obtained by law enforcement, Boelter can be seen returning to the residence in the morning after his murder of the Hortmans and his shooting. Oh wow, so he went back to the Fremont residence. In video footage from the area of the Fremont Avenue residence. That's the one where he's hitting the window with the hammer. We have that also. Let's see. I have that video in here. I don't know where I put it, but there's video of him walking around and he's hammering a car. I think it's this one. Here we go. Thanks, Alley Cake. Recording, hit the record button. Recording, hit the record button. There we go. Oh, here, over here. Recording, hit the record button. That audio is from another live stream of the Middle East going on. There we go. You know, Missy, I have that side, but it isn't. So I'll show you. Nobody knows what you're saying, Revised Games. I have no idea what you're talking about. See? I even record myself when I'm recording something. Fit next. So you're going to have these big flopping shoes, a big circle. You're talking about. Being revised, but I'm going backwards. It is in a minute. Yeah, so right here, look, he breaks in the window with a hammer. See that? And that, I think that's his own vehicle there. And he walks kind of away. In video footage from the area of the Fremont Avenue residence obtained by law enforcement, Boelter can be seen returning to that residence in the morning after his murder of Hortman's and his shooting of the Hoffmans. According to an interview later conducted by law enforcement with witness number 1, at approximately 7 a.m. on June 14th, Boelter met witness 1 at a bus stop at 48th Avenue North and North Lindell Avenue in North Minneapolis. Witness 1 reported to law enforcement that he had no prior connection with Boelter prior to meeting at the bus stop. According to Witness 1, Boelter had 2 duffel bags with him. Boelter asked to purchase an electronic bike. I wonder if he pre-placed some items in the back of that house. I mean, that's of the Hortmans. I don't know. Boelter asked to purchase, let's see, according to Witness 1, Boelter had 2 duffel bags with him. Boelter asked to purchase an electronic bike from Witness 1. After Witness 1 agreed, they together boarded a bus and traveled to Witness 1's residence. After arriving at Witness 1's residence, Boelter asked to purchase Witness 1's Buick sedan as well. Jesus. And he agreed. Wow, I mean, you didn't know him at all? You just... Around this time, Boelter and Witness 1 drove in the Buick to a U.S. bank branch location at Robindale, Minnesota, where Boelter withdrew $2,200. This is crazy. From a thereby emptied an account in his name. Cameras at U.S. Bank captured Boelter wearing a cowboy hat. So that's actually at a U.S. bank. Let's see where that is. That's why we couldn't tell where that was. I wonder if it's this one. This one. Where did they say that was? Around that time, Boelter drove in the Buick to a U.S. bank branch location in Robindale. All right. And that's got to be the bank, right? Thanks, Ted Bundy. Been a tough crowd today. I think it might be like, does that look right? Nah. Similar to that fence over there. Well, anyways, this is the only U.S. bank in the area. So we'll go ahead and put a pin there. Hold on. Alright, let me save this. Alright, so I guess that's when he's inside or something. Boelter reportedly provided about $900 to witness one to complete the purchase of the bike and a Buick. So you got a car for that little. That's odd. Around he got an electric bike and a Buick for $900. Who would ever sell anything for that cheap? That's ridiculous. An e-bike is like $900, you know? I mean, around 2:30 a.m. on June 15th, law enforcement received information about a possible sighting of an individual riding an e-bike approximately 2 miles northeast of Boelter's family home in Green Isle, Minnesota. Do you guys like doing it this way, or it feels like where you get more of a texture if you're going? What was it again? Green Isle, Minnesota. Wow. So Green Isle. I think that's south. Yeah. And there you go. That's this one right here. This is the house we had on day one right there. So, man, he was way over there on that e-bike. Well, obviously 20-something people didn't like it because they took off. Hey, thanks, Susie Clue. All right. So it was around 2:30. Law enforcement received information about a possible sighting of an individual riding an e-bike approximately 2 miles northeast of Boelter's family home in Green Isle, Minnesota. However, law enforcement was unable to locate Boelter at that time. That was on the 15th. So that was yesterday when he was caught. Law enforcement investigated further and discovered the Buick that Boelter purchased from Witness 1 abandoned on Highway 25, close to the location of the reported e-bike sighting. Jeez. Well, this guy is just nuts, right? So he was where was that? Yesterday we had the exact spot. Doesn't look like the pin survived. Yeah, it was right there. So the Buick was right here. Alright, so that's where the Buick was found that he purchased. Man, that's such a weird development there. And then apparently he was riding his e-bike. Now from there, he likely was going to try to make his way to his house. That's what I think. Now, law enforcement investigated further and discovered the Buick that Boelter purchased from Witness 1 abandoned on Highway 25, close to the location of the reported e-bike sighting. And they have pins, look at that, just like I do, you guys. Now, so that's where the possible sighting was. Let's go put that in there. So they have the possible sighting right here, like he's almost at his house at this point. So I bet you they didn't find him near the Buick. So this is the e-bike sighting right there. All coming together. He didn't do it, Gray. He didn't do it. It's this other guy. See, Gray, you always go with the cop's narrative, you bastard. Gray, he's innocent until proven guilty, you bastard. Oh, God. Where are you guys? Pro-burgers, get in here, quick. Tell me how innocent this guy is. Hurry up and do it. Law enforcement approached the vehicle using a drone to check for explosives or other potential safety concerns. Law enforcement drone approaches abandoned Buick. Hey, you guys, he didn't, don't say that he did it, you guys. He's innocent until proven guilty. Where are all those clowns today, you guys? Where are they? A search of that vehicle uncovered, among other things, what appeared to be the cowboy hat Boelter wore when captured in the U.S. Bank security footage. Did you guys hear what I said? As well as a handwritten letter directed to the FBI. In that letter, the writer, who claimed his name was Dr. Vance Luther Boelter, admitted to being the shooter at large. Oh. Well, they said today there was no manifesto or anything like that. Yeah, this guy, how do we know he did it, you guys? There was a mask he was wearing and everything. Maybe he just happened to be walking around at the same time. I figured you guys would get a little chuckles out of that, but I didn't get any. You guys are lame today. Just like the support for the channel. Let's see. Involved in the two shootings the morning of Saturday, June 15th. At approximately 9:10 p.m. on June 15th, 2025, law enforcement located Boelter in a field in Green Isle, Minnesota, approximately 1 mile from his family residence. Officers took Boelter into custody. Yeah. Look, I don't know if that's the hat there. Man, you guys are a tough crowd today. So if you're out there, if you could please help support the channel, that'd be great. But you'd think I would have got some chuckles when I was imitating the Brian Koberger types who think that you can't proclaim somebody did something until the trial happens. Okay? I'm not moving forward till I get some laughs. I'm going to force laughs out of you guys. Man, you guys suck. It's just, At approximately 9:10 p.m. on June 15, 2025, law enforcement located Boelter in a field in Green Isle, Minnesota, approximately 1 mile from his family residence. Officers took Boelter into custody. Yeah, see, like Cheryl got a laugh. Based on the foregoing, I submit there is probable cause to believe that in or about June of 2025, in the state of District of Minnesota, Vance Luther Boelter committed stalking in violation of 18 U.S.C., use of a firearm to murder during and in relation to stalking in violation 18 U.S.C. 924. Well, there you go. That's the document. That's pretty thorough right there, isn't it? No, it was good, Sandy. My imitation of the Pro Burgers. Didn't get one chuckle, not one, nothing. Man, yikes. Yeah, see, this picture right there is the Breaking Bad guy, not this one. There's even a goatee, and this doesn't have one. But there you go. That was 23 pages. You know, those are the weapons they found outside the Hortman's home. Those are where it was in his vehicle, right there. Too late, Elizabeth. Too late, man. This right here, I think, is one of the. I think if we ever saw the video of this, it would probably be one of the creepiest videos ever seen. I mean, look at this guy. Just after this, he kills the Hortmans. And they thought maybe he was just a regular police officer at the time. I mean, I wonder, you know what's weird is when did they figure out, like, wow, okay, we got to go shoot this guy, you know? How would you know exactly what was happening? The cops, even. And look, they got that light shining right on him. Man, that's wild. All right, well, there you go. There you have it, everybody. I think I'm going to take off. So appreciate you guys being here. And that was the 20... Well, hold on. There was another... Let's see if there's anything different in this other charging document that Derek also found at the same time. Or a few minutes later, or earlier, actually. What's it saying here? On or about June 14th, 2025, this is a different probable cause. At approximately 2:05, Chaplain police officers responded to a shooting. I think this is the same one that we had part of the other day. Right. I don't think we need to read this. It's the same as the other one. Hey, but you guys, don't say that he did it, okay? You don't want the Proburgers coming in here and saying he's innocent until proven guilty. How can he keep saying he's the guy? He hasn't gone to trial yet. See, that's why they're hypocrites, these people. I guarantee you in this one, they're like, oh yeah, that guy did it. And they don't use the same standard because they want so badly for a quadruple killer to be innocent. Maybe they can go on dates with him, go have a beer, you know, who the hell knows, but... pretty wild stuff. So thanks, Alley Cake. The process is the punishment. Elizabeth Capone, Cook, Naomi, Paisley Dreams, Teddy Bundy, Sandy Shirley, K. Me, Alley Cake, and Ted Bundy again. Alright, so thanks for being here, everybody. We'll see you guys later this evening. And as I always say, until next time, Be safe out there. Yikes.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Grader's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temper fucking checked ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. Alright, everybody?